Deep in the Florida Everglades, hidden behind razor wire and alligator-infested marshland, stands Alligator Alcatraz. Officially, it's the South Florida Ice Processing Center. In reality, a makeshift prison city for migrants, built in weeks on a defunct airstrip. Capacity, 3,000 human beings. Shelter, FEMA trailers and thin tents baking under 90-degree heat. Security isn't provided by police or trained corrections officers, but by private contractors. Governor Ron DeSantis joked that the alligators would serve as the facility's natural security system.
And one of the reasons why this was a sensible spot is because you have this runway that's right here. You don't have to drive them an hour to an airport.
The contractor holding the keys? GardaWorld Federal Services, a private for-profit company being paid millions to guard cages in the swamp. GardaWorld Federal Services is the U.S. arm of Montreal-based GardaWorld. They landed a $10.9 million Canadian contract to provide security at Alligator Alcatraz. Their job listings pulled no punches. Armed security guards needed, $25 an hour, 60-plus hour weeks. Must live on site in the middle of the swamp, not in dorms but tents. You bring your own registered semi-automatic handgun. Must have Florida gun and security licenses. Must be able to withstand extreme heat, toxic air, blaring noise, and physically demanding conditions like bending, crawling, and lifting. The listing originally named Ochopee, Florida as the location, until media scrutiny forced Garda to scrub it to a remote part of southern central Florida. This wasn't a high-paying job. It was a desperation job, offered in a no-questions-asked environment to people willing to look the other way. Inside the tents, up to 3,000 detainees, with planned expansions to house 5,000, are packed in sweltering conditions. A third have criminal records. The rest, immigration violations, asylum seekers, entire families with no charges or convictions. Congressional visitors reported cages stuffed with 32 people each. Wall-to-wall humans drenched in sweat, insect infestations, overflowing waste. Guards report instability. Detainees allege provocation by staff. Meager meals, no air circulation. Massive air conditioners groan under the pressure of the Florida summer. Public health workers warn of disease. Families call in desperation. Hunger strikes are planned or already underway. The Florida Immigrant Coalition didn't mince words. This is a human rights violation. Others call it what it looks like, a concentration camp. GardaWorld didn't invent this system. They inherited the blueprint. Geo Group and Core Civic, two titans of private incarceration, built the model. Geo manages 99 facilities, 80,000 beds. Core Civic owns or operates over 65 facilities. Their revenue reaches into the billions. Their track record includes lawsuits over inmate deaths, wage theft, abuse, and union busting. This is human confinement as a business strategy. GardaWorld, backed by a $300 million investment from the Quebec government, is simply executing the model. Minimize cost, maximize control, let public funds feed shareholder profits. And Florida taxpayers? They're footing an annual $450 million bill to run this swamp prison. Staffing the place meant cutting corners, fast. Florida law requires background checks, physical exams, fingerprinting, and proof of moral character for law enforcement officers. But according to a lawsuit filed by state lawmakers, DeSantis waived those requirements. Garda's now deleted job posting mentioned background checks, but there's no sign the state enforced them. Enter critical response strategies, another contractor. They landed a $78 million deal to staff camp managers, corrections officers, and logistics. Their job listings, $2,968 per week, 12-hour shifts, 7 days a week, 2 weeks on, 1 week off, live on site, uniforms marked only with the word security, no transparency, no accountability, just warm bodies to enforce cold policy. Why take the job? Because you're desperate or you don't care. $25 an hour to patrol cages in hell. Garda's posting called it a crucial role to maintain safety and order. But detainees say guards taunt them, provoke conflict, and look the other way. These aren't rogue officers. They're part of a system described by experts as theatricalized cruelty. And we've heard their excuses before. Just following orders. I needed the money. But those words echo from history. Nuremberg, 1945. Auschwitz guards said the same thing. Befehl ist Befehl. Orders are orders. The court rejected it. It wasn't an excuse then, and it won't be one now, because standing post outside a cage while people suffer inside isn't neutrality, it's complicity. The existence of Alligator Alcatraz is no accident. It's not a bureaucratic failure. It's the result of deliberate design. Detaining migrants in tents in the Everglades is cheaper than real reform. It's politically easier to dehumanize than to humanize. It's more profitable to contract out than to fix a broken system. The facility wasn't built to solve a problem. It was built to be a business. Private contractors, desperate guards, and an indifferent, ignorant, or overwhelmed public form the perfect supply chain for a modern-day atrocity. But this will not last forever. Eventually, Alligator Alcatraz, or Alligator Auschwitz as some call it, will close. Lawsuits will be filed, investigations launched, survivors will testify, and those who stood guard over this swamp prison will not be able to hide behind job descriptions. When the questions come, when reporters, judges, or historians ask why, "I needed a paycheck" won't be enough. You can't claim ignorance. You were there. You not only saw it, you enforced it, and you held the damn keys. And in that moment, you made a choice. History won't forget. Guarding a concentration camp isn't a job, it's a decision, and it carries consequences.